Thank you, Zoe, for taking care of Riley today. It's fine. Stella, you should play with Riley sometimes. Riley wants to play with her mommy once in a while. She says that every time she comes over to my house. I know, but I'm busy right now, so what can I do? Is your job really that hard? Yeah, it is. I just started here, so I have to travel every week for training. And after work, I have training sessions in the conference room. I'm sick of training almost every day. But the company knows that you have a child, right? Can't they at least take that into consideration? They can't. Besides, I want to take my job seriously. I want my boss to like me. I want to be promoted as quickly as possible. Well, I guess you have no choice. But you should at least talk to Riley when you're home. You're always on your phone and never listen to her, right? It can't be helped. I get calls from work all the time. You work when you're home? That's right, I'm a busy woman, unlike you, Zoe. You didn't need to say that. Just because I'm a housewife doesn't mean I'm not busy. Anyways, I have a favor to ask of you, Zoe. What favor? I'm going on a business trip next weekend for company training. My husband will be out of town that day, and I don't know anyone else who can take care of Riley. So, can you take care of her? How many days is the trip? 3 days. I'm not sure you should leave Riley with me that long. I'm afraid something might happen. I'm sure she'll be fine. Riley seems to like you a lot. That's not the point. Can't you at least ask your in-laws? Your in-laws live in the next town over, and they're close by, right? My in-laws are injured, so they can't take care of Riley. I see. But I'm afraid to take care of her for 3 days. I see. Then Riley will have to stay at home. At home? It's not safe to leave a 4-year-old alone in the house. It's because you don't want to take care of her. And I don't have any other mom friends who are willing to take care of her. So I have no choice. Oh, poor Riley. She's going to be left all alone because of you. Can't you turn down that trip? Of course I can't. It's my job, and I have to go to work for no matter what. Well, yeah, but fine. I'll take care of Riley then. Thank you. It's nice to have a friend like you. I'll make sure to repay you. 1 week later. I'm so sorry, Stella. I had to go to the hospital suddenly and I can't take care of Riley anymore. The hospital? Yeah, I've been sick for a little while now and I collapsed last night. So I'm going to be in the hospital for a while. It's not a life-threatening illness, but... Excuse me? Then what do you want me to do about Riley? Can you find someone else to take care of her, or refuse to go on a business trip? I'm sorry, but there's nothing I can do. Screw you! I was looking forward to my vacation the day after tomorrow. You're going to ruin my fun. Vacation? Didn't you say you were going on a business trip this time? I must have typed it wrong. Really? So you're looking forward to this business trip. You're persistent. Stop nagging me about that. Anyway, I can't change my business trip, so I'm going to do whatever it takes to make you take care of Riley. But I'm in the hospital right now. They said I should be in the hospital for at least a week, so it's impossible. So you're just gonna sit around in the hospital for a week. It doesn't sound like you're sick, so you can at least take care of my kid, right? Huh? What are you talking about? Are you at North Hospital? Well, yes. Okay. Well, I'll be putting my daughter in your care. What? What do you mean? Stella? A few days later. Hey, I left my daughter in the lobby of the hospital, so you'll be taking care of her for the next 3 days. I don't care if you're in the hospital or not. Just shut up and babysit her. Your in-laws are here to pick her up. What? Why would my in-laws? My mother-in-law called your mother-in-law. Your in-laws are still in my hospital room. Wait a minute. How did your mother-in-law know my mother-in-law's contact information? Do they know each other? I didn't know it myself, but they went to the same sewing class. They became good friends and sometimes have tea together. I didn't know that. I didn't know that either until just now. Thank God my mother-in-law happened to be at the hospital today. Wow, you've made this a big mess. The other day, you said that your in-laws were hurt, but neither of them said they were hurt in any way. Why did you lie to me? Just because? Maybe you had a guilty reasoning that made you not want to leave her with your in-laws? What do you mean by a guilty reasoning? For example, an affair. What? I'm not having an affair. Really? Then where are you going? I told you, I'm going on a business trip. Why would you be going on a business trip when you're not even working? What? Why would you? You've been a stay-at-home mom since you got married, right? You lied to me when you said you recently started working, didn't you? Did my in-laws tell you that too? Sort of. Anyway, you better get back to the hospital right away. Your in-laws are furious with you. If they're mad at me, I don't want to go over there. Besides, I just got on the plane. Where are you going now? I'm going to California. What are you doing in California? You can't stop lying to me about work now. I'm traveling. With who? A friend. I'm really not having an affair. I'm traveling with a friend from high school for the first time in a long time. I see. I think your husband already knows that you're on a cheating trip. What? Don't tell me you're in touch with my husband. Of course. My in-laws gave me his contact information, and I'm the one who contacted him. Don't tell me you told him about the affair. I didn't know that you were having an affair in the first place. I see. So, my husband was aware of it for a long time? I guess so. You've been acting strangely lately, so he hired a detective to find out. No way. You mean he knew and didn't say anything? Maybe he didn't say anything, or maybe he kept you in the dark to gather evidence. No way. What should I do? I can't stop traveling now. What? Are you still going to continue under these circumstances? If I say I have to leave because my husband found out, he'll find out I'm married. Did you lie to him that you're single? Yeah. Dating apps only allow single people to sign up, so there's no other way but to lie, right? Stella, you're married and you're on a dating app. What were you thinking? At first, it was just for fun. But when I met this guy, it got serious. I couldn't control my feelings either. I see. So you're saying that your cheating boyfriend is more important to you than your husband and Riley? Don't say it like that. I didn't mean to deceive anyone, and I was going to tell them the truth eventually. Then this is a good opportunity, isn't it? Well, I'm sure your partner will be very angry when he finds out the truth. What if he rejects me? It would ruin all of my fun. I can't believe it. At this point in time, all you can think about is him. By the way, your in-laws are looking at these texts too. Hey! Don't show them it without my permission. Anyway, I think you should tell him the truth and come home right away. I'm sure he's furious with you. Okay. A few days later? This is the worst. I told him I was married and he dumped me. He told me I had to pay for our trip as alimony. You're lucky it was just a small fee. I mean, it took you so long. I thought you'd come back soon. I couldn't bring myself to tell him. I also thought that if this was going to be our last trip together, it would be more memorable if we enjoyed it, so I decided to continue. So, you two were traveling together as planned? Yes. The hotel we booked was a very expensive one, so I thought it would be a waste to cancel. I can't believe it. Stella, don't you care about your husband and Riley? Of course, they're important to me. If you really cared about them, you wouldn't keep traveling. He dumped me, so I've decided to focus on my family from now on. He also told me that a woman who can't take care of her own children is not a human being. So, I've decided to have a change of heart from now on. From now on. So, have you been in touch with your husband? No. I haven't heard from him, and I've been afraid to call him, so I haven't called or texted him. Well, he's probably mad at me, but I hope it's not too late. Is Riley still with my in-laws? Seems like it. Your husband's busy with work, so they'll be taking care of her for a while. Did my husband say anything? He didn't say anything to me. He said it's a family matter and he'll take care of it. I didn't think it was right to meddle in other people's family affairs, so I didn't ask any questions. I see. Well, if you're done with your trip, why don't you go home? Yeah, I'll call my husband. A few hours later. What am I going to do? I came home to find a divorce agreement and a lawyer's business card. The note says I can't do this with you. I'll take the kids and I'm asking for child support and alimony. He also told me to leave the house as soon as I sign the divorce papers. I think your husband should have custody too. That's not what I'm saying. He is going to divorce me. That's not unreasonable, right? If a wife left her kid and went on a trip with her affair partner, it's bound to happen. And when I called to tell you that your in-laws had come to my hospital, you still continued your trip, didn't you? Why would anyone still want to be in a relationship with someone like that? At the very least, if my husband did the same thing to me, I would divorce him immediately. But I decided to give up on him once and for all, and to take care of my own family from now on. It's too late. Now that you're a mother, you have to put your children first and protect them. And you can't betray your family. I didn't have a choice. My husband has been coming home late and not giving me much time. Even on his days off, he completely neglects me, saying he had to go to work. You blame your husband? Your husband is always home on his days off, isn't he? And I'm sure he came home every weekday as much as my husband did. Huh? How do you know that? On his days off, your husband would clean his car in the yard and played with Riley in the neighborhood park. We used to go to the park on our days off too, so we used to see each other a lot. I didn't know that. Even on weekdays, your husband usually took the same train as my husband, so I don't think he came home late. Wait, your husband and my husband work near each other? Yes. Sometimes, when they took the same train home, they would come home together. I didn't know. You were leaving Riley with me on weekdays too. I thought it was work at the time, but you were really meeting someone you were having an affair with. It's too late to lie now, so I'll tell you the truth. I left Riley with you so I could go meet up with him. I knew it. Irresponsible people like you, Stella, don't deserve to be mothers. Your husband says he's going to raise Riley from now on. I think you should be mature enough to follow your husband's lead. Wait a minute. If we get divorced, how will I live? What about living expenses, alimony, child support? I have to take care of everything by myself, right? I can't. I'm separated from my parents. I have no one else to turn to. I really don't want a divorce. Then why don't you stop talking to me and go to your in-laws? No, my in-laws have told me they never want to see me again. They must completely hate you now. By the way, have you been in touch with your husband? He's read my messages, but he hasn't responded. Maybe he can't reply because he's still at work. I see. I guess we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? Please, can you please contact my husband? What am I supposed to contact him about? I want you to tell him that I don't want a divorce. Zoe would miss me too, wouldn't she? Not at all. Don't say that. At least give it some thought. I'm against you continuing to be a mother, Stella. I don't want to see you repeating the same mistakes and hurting a young child. I promise I'll never do it again. I think it's up to the couple to decide whether or not to get a divorce in the first place. Don't drag me into this. I have nothing to do with it. Bye. Hey! 1 week later. I'm moving out of the house tomorrow. Looks like you're getting a divorce after all. Yeah. I insisted that I didn't want a divorce, but then he said he was going to take me to court, and there was nothing I could do about it. There's still evidence that I cheated on him. I'm sure I'll lose in court. I'm sure you're right. You already know where you're going to live next, don't you? My husband said he'd feel sorry for me if I had to leave without finding a place to live, so he helped me find an apartment. What a kind husband. Usually people wouldn't go that far. Listen, I have a favor to ask you. What favor? He asked me to pay the alimony in one lump sum, so I had to take out a loan. I see. And now I have to pay child support every month, so I guess I'll have to live not just on the edge, but in the negative for a while. So? Don't you understand if I don't tell you? Don't tell me you want me to give you some money. Zoe, your husband seems to work for a big company, and your house is that big, so you must have plenty of money. We can't afford to help you. I mean, even if I could afford it, I wouldn't help someone like you. Don't say that. We're mom friends, aren't we? Stella, you're not a mom anymore, so I don't think you should call me your mom friend. Then, let's be best friends from now on. Who would want to associate themselves with an unfit mother who hurts her family like you? You don't have to say it like that. Just to be clear, I'm not going to have anything to do with you ever again. I was even going to block your number once your divorce became official. Don't block it. I don't have any friends I can turn to. You're making a mistake if you're trying to depend on anyone. If you don't want to be alone, why don't you go on a dating app again? You're going to be single now, and you're free to have a boyfriend. I won't do it. I'm still trying to get through what happened to my ex. Well, you shouldn't be looking for a new man in the first place. Yes, since I'm going to be in debt from now on, I don't have time to do anything but work. You got what you deserved. Can you at least not block me? No, there's no benefit to me in continuing this relationship. I'd rather not have you pestering me for money. I don't need money. I just want you to listen to me. I don't want to. I'm wasting my time if I keep talking to you. So, excuse me. After that, Stella was kicked out of her house and left to live alone in her apartment. She thought she was going to start working seriously, but she became lonely and started going to hostesses. The ex-husband, who thought he would not be able to collect the child support as it was, charged Stella a lump sum and made her borrow more money to collect it. After that, the debt snowballed and she has been missing for some time now, and Riley seems to be enjoying her life at her ex-husband's parents' house. She doesn't seem to care about Stella, and she doesn't seem to miss her anymore. We are happy to hear that Riley is spending her life happily.